Hi, everybody. I just want to take a minute and remind you that the talks we're doing are being recorded and they're being put on our website the next day. To get them, go to startingpoint.org, scroll down to Vince's Corner, and scroll down. You see at the bottom it says Codependency Series, and above it is the Gratitude Series. So you can check into them right there, okay? Usually by 3 o'clock tomorrow, we'll have them on. And also, my thought for the month for July is also on the website also. You can check that out. Okay. I want to take, this morning when I posted on Facebook, I posted one of the meditations from the language of letting go on having fun. But there's another one too I want to read tonight, because I really believe in this concept of learning how to enjoy ourselves and look at life in a positive way. Fun. Have some fun with life and with the day. Life is not drudgery. That is an old belief. Let go of it. We are on an adventure, a journey. Events will come to pass that we cannot now fathom. Replace heaviness and weariness of spirit with joy. Surround yourself with people and things that bring lightness to your spirit. Become sensitive to lightness of spirit. The journey can be an exciting adventure. Let yourself enjoy it. Today, I will have some fun with life, with recovery, with people, and especially with my day. I wanted to read that, and I wanted to kind of emphasize something tonight. We're talking about codependency, and we spent the first one on the traits, then we talked about family systems last week. And tonight, one of the things a lot of codependents do, we have a tendency to take life very seriously. We're very analytical. We're always trying to figure things out. And I think sometimes we just analyze too much. And so we got to learn to keep it simple. So tonight what I want to do is lighten it up a little bit. I want to have a little bit of fun and basically talk about some of the things that are kind of dear to me and things that I think will help you in many different ways. I want to just put this in 3 parts tonight. I want to talk about assignments I want to give you. Now, if you do these assignments, you will definitely get in touch with feelings. Then I'm going to talk about stuffed animals or pets as tools of therapy, to be connected with them. And then thirdly, I want to talk about my famous comic strip with my buddy Snoopy. As most of you know, I really love Snoopy. So basically, we're going to get into that area in the 3rd session tonight. Because I really believe that all these things speak to us and try to teach us. Relax. Deal with life on life's terms and realize the fact that we're going to go through struggle, but we have to be able to do it with a light heart and try to learn the best we can from it all. Let's begin with the assignments. And I love doing this. Watch. Now try this. If you're the type of person that makes their bed every morning, puts everything in order, has everything exactly where it's supposed to be, for the next week, I would like you to try not to make your bed, let everything go, and let the place just kind of fall apart. Not only the place will fall apart, you'll fall apart too. Because basically, we're not used to doing our opposite. It's one of the most powerful ways of getting in touch with feelings. If you're the kind of person who never makes their bed, whose house is always kind of messy, for the next week, make your bed every day, straighten everything up, put everything exactly where it's supposed to be. Not only will you scare yourself, you'll scare people around you. But I don't think we realize it. We're used to and comfortable with the ways in which we do things. And many of us are really predictable. And that's why it's really important to be able to open up these doors to meet our opposites. I've learned over the years that meeting your opposite teaches you a lot about yourself. Now, the next assignment. I would like you, if you're the type of person who's always on time for everything, you're exact about everything. For the next week or so, I'd like you to be late. Now, I know it's going to, a lot of codependents are going to say, well, are you crazy? No, be late. If you're the type of person that's basically always late, then for the next week, be 10 minutes early. You will scare people. They're not used to this. It's almost like people can almost tell time by us. And that's why it's really important to go meet your opposite. They'll definitely open up feelings inside of you, but at the same time, it might even be fun, even though I don't think a lot of us will look at it as fun, because it kind of makes us nervous a little bit too. It's that losing of control and feeling the fact that I'm going to meet the other part of me as a person. Another great assignment I want to give you is pull a prank on someone. Have some fun. Do something you always wanted to do. Now remember, if you get arrested, don't call me. Do something sensible, have some fun, pull some pranks. It's a lot of fun when you get into it. I got to tell you, two of the famous pranks that were pulled on me, and I always love telling these stories. For years, I used to run groups over a starting point, and my evening groups used to get done maybe, I don't know, 9 o'clock, 9:15, 9:30 at night. And I was tired. I got in my car and I was on my way home. And of course, I had given these assignments out to my group. I was driving home down the 42 freeway, and for some crazy reason, everybody was waving at me, honking their horns, going like this to me. I said, what the hell is going on? It's unbelievable. I said, this is crazy. This is insane. You know, I wanted to check and make sure I had clothes on or something. I don't know. But basically, I was really in wonderment the whole entire trip. Finally got to my house, and I figured, what the heck? And so the next day, I went outside, and those crazy people in my women's group had taped a photograph of 3 ladies in bikini across the back of my trunk. I'm driving down the 42 freeway with that poster on the back of my trunk. You know, unbelievable. They got me good. My men's group did something differently. They took a stone and stuck it in the hubcap of my car. I was driving around, my car was going clunk, 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 clunk. I said, what the hell? I thought the motor was falling out. When I stopped, it stopped. So I finally went to a mechanic. He checked the car out, checked everything over. He said, Vince, I can't find anything wrong with your car. He said, drive it, let me listen to it. So I drove it back and forth. He said, wait a minute. He went over, popped the hubcap, and took some stones out. He says, how'd you get stones in your hubcap? And my head was, I said, I know how I got them there. I know exactly who did it. You know, these are the pranks people used to pull. Of course, cost me a little bit. I paid the mechanic to check the car out. But the bottom line was, it's a lot of fun. You know, I remember one time when my men's group rearranged my office. They moved everything. They even had things upside down. All my pictures and stuff were moved to other spots. They were upside down. My room was like totally turned around. And then on the door, they posted a great big collage on my door. It's still there. It's amazing. And one of the crazy people who did this is on this call with us tonight. So it's really interesting. You come down to this. And I love all this stuff because I really believe very deeply this is fun. But you have to have good fun and be able to just enjoy. Because we have to learn to laugh at life a little bit. You know, a good friend of mine, Dr. Johnson, I worked with him at Charter Fairmont years ago, a psychiatrist. He used to have a saying. He would say, if you wake up in the morning and everything's crazy and nutty, around 12 o'clock it gets worse. He said, go sit in the corner and laugh. He says, it's a lot cheaper to laugh than to send yourself into a psych hospital. Plus, you don't need insurance. I've learned over the years that laughter is such a great therapeutic gift. We got to laugh at ourselves. And by the way, don't forget, if you don't think you're funny, a good laugh when you wake up tomorrow morning, go in the bathroom and stare in the mirror. If you don't laugh, you really are sick. It's totally amazing. See, we got to learn to realize the fact that we're being taught in our life that to get through situations in life, sometimes you have to be able to laugh. Got to loosen up a little bit. That's what that's really all about. So enjoy the assignments. Have fun. Give it a shot. See what happens. And it'll be interesting to see what does come out of it. Do me a favor. If some of you actually try this stuff, email me and let me know about it. I would love to get some feedback from you. And my email is real easy. It's vince@startingpoint.org. So feel free to do so. The second I'm going to talk about tonight are my buddies. I'm going to talk about stuffed animals, pets, and basically anything that you can connect back to your childhood. See, I've learned over the years that we need stuff in our life, and kids are better off than we are. You know, most young kids coming up, especially I'm thinking of my grandkids right now, they always have their guys. And their guys are like real people to them. They talk to them, they share with them. Stuffed animals are nice because you know something about them? They always stay where you put them. Isn't that amazing? They give great hugs and they have no agendas. They're safe and they make you get in touch with feelings and they're wonderful. I got to tell you a story about this guy right here. And I have a nickname for him today. I call him Little Vinny. This is my little Vinny. I call him Little Vinny because I look at him as my little child, the little boy that's inside of me. I get a big kick out of him. But I got to tell you a story. He's old, by the way. See, I like him because I'm old and he's old. It's great. So I'll tell you the story. In 1964, that's a long time ago, I was a deacon before I got ordained. And basically, as a deacon, we had to do internships. My internship was at a church in Camden. And when I was doing my internship back then, I was a nice guy, but I also was kind of an uptight type guy. I really didn't know what to do with life. I was kind of naive. So anyway, a lady from the parish came to visit me. I wish I could remember her name. But she came to visit me, and she gave me this stuffed animal. And she said, "You need this." Personally, I thought she was nuts. But, you know, they gave you a gift. You got to take it. So I smiled. I said, "Thank you very much." I went into my office, and I figured, what am I going to do with this guy? You know, she's going to come back and ask me where it is. They always do. So I took it, put it on a shelf in my office, and for some crazy reason, he became my companion. Different parishes I went to, when I moved stuff around, for some reason I kept him. And I call this, you know, one of my favorite terms is God wink. Got that from Hallmark. And I love that. Because to me, he is one of those little things in my life. Anyway, I paid no attention to him until somewhere around, I can't be exact, in the middle 80s somewhere, when I started getting in touch with codependency issues. I began to talk a lot about the inner child and stuff to that effect. And I remember one time a gentleman talking to me, a doctor, telling me about stuffed animals and how important they are, how therapeutic they are. And even in the hospitals, they use them for heart patients and stuff to that effect. And really, they're a powerful way between this and pets. And so he told me to get myself one. So I didn't really, okay, I was going to go buy one. But then I realized this little guy was in my room. He's been there for a long time. So I got him out. And as I began to do my work and look at the aspect of the inner child, I realized, hey, it must be little Vinny. So I enjoy little Vinny today. He sits on my desk in the office right now and keeps me company. He's always there looking at me, making sure I'm doing things the way I'm supposed to do them. And I love him. It's pretty neat. I like him a lot. Special little guy. Now, he's got some buddies. Now, quite a while ago, I got this guy. This guy is called Lucky. And I named him after my dog who died a number of years ago. And I call him Lucky because there's something special about him. For a long period of time, when I used to go around giving lectures in different places, he used to ride in the car with me. See, at one time he was brown, now he's green from being in a car so much. But the bottom line was, I started a tradition at many of the lectures I did back then in different rehabs and places I went to. I asked people to give him a hug. And to me, I would say easily over 1,000 people in recovery have hugged this guy at one time or another. And I find that very special because basically it's almost like all the people I'm connected to in recovery are part of me, part of my life. They're connected to me. That's something very special to me. And so really in reality, you know, I also call him my recovery bear Because when he's traveling with me and he's around me, all those people I've been connected to in recovery over the years, they're part of my family. I don't feel alone anymore. He's very special. Now he spends a lot of time in my office, and he still gets a lot of hugs from a lot of people. And so he's still kind of building up his hug capacity, which I love. But see, I figured he got lonely back when he was in my car. And so I decided to get him a friend. And so along came another great stuffed animal. And this guy is called Fluffy. Now, why do I call him Fluffy? Because Fluffy was the name of my dog when I was a small boy. And so basically, I now have Lucky and I got Fluffy, and they got to spend a lot of time together in my car. Now, you know what happens. And spending all that time together after a period of time, we had a new person arrive on the scene, little Muffy. Now, Muffy's not here with us tonight because he was confiscated by my granddaughter. She decided she was going to raise him. She's still taking care of him for me. And I love all this stuff because it really kind of brings out to me the beauty of what this recovery process really is all about. Because I realize that these little things, these stuffed animals, things that we are connected to, they're all part of our journey. They're part of our life. And we need to be able to get close to things and feel things. Try and exercise with them. It's really great. Take your favorite stuffed animal and go someplace in your house where it's nice and quiet. Sit down in a nice, comfortable chair, a recliner if you have one. Put some soft lights with some music on, and just get there and take that little guy and give him a hug. Keep him close to you. Just see how it feels. Feel the feelings. Because I really believe these are different ways in which we get in touch with the little child that's inside of us. But also, I recommend to a lot of people, stay over here, I'll be back to get you. Hold on. I'm going anywhere. Whoops. Okay. Got to balance it. Okay. I also recommend to a lot of people to really get in touch with the little child that's inside of you. It's so great to be able to bring up memories of things you've experienced, memories of your childhood. You know, one of my favorite pictures I have of myself as a little boy, and I love doing it. This is when I was 5 years old. He's a special little boy. You know, I love the way they used to do things back then. They pose you for the shots, you know, but it's neat to be able just to look at him and see how special he was, a big part of it. These are all memories and things you can bring up. If you have photographs of yourself as a child, photographs even of different situations in your family, any way you can begin to bring memories up about things, it's really great to get in touch with them. It gives you a warm feeling on the inside. After my mother died in 1982, I found some things in her house. One was this little thing, and it's just interesting, goes back to 1940. This is the toe tag they put on me in the hospital when I was a baby. You know, back in those days, they used to put toe tags on you, and they write the information right on the tag. I can't believe my mother kept it all these years. You know, it actually has my size, what my size was, how much I weighed, how, you know, all kinds of dimensions and stuff. It's pretty neat. But, you know, it's just interesting to look at things. You look back the way things were done at that time. And realize at one time, when I was born, this was on my toe. I also found in my mother's collection my little booties that I wore as a baby and a child. You know, I sometimes just can't believe I wore these things at one time. It's amazing, isn't it? But, you know, it's so neat. Look how worn out they are on the bottom too. It's amazing. You come down to it. I get such a kick out of it. I really believe very deeply that we are very sensitive and very beautiful people, and we need things to be close to. We need things to be in our life. You know, and I realize over and over again, this is one of the important things about life. To be able to feel our feelings, to be in touch with things around us, and to realize that little things like this can bring so much healing to you. because they really do give you. So I recommend to everybody to get themselves a stuffed animal or a pet. You know yourself how pets are very powerful. I love telling the story of my granddaughter. Well, my granddaughter, when growing up, most kids have this, by the way. My granddaughter had her little imaginary friends. We all know about our imaginary friends. I really believe they're not imaginary. I believe that they really were in touch with them. So I can't remember all the names. I think it was Bria, Bia, or whatever they were. I don't know. But anyway, we used to take my granddaughter places, and she insisted on bringing her friends with her. So one day we took her to see Dragon Tales. Got out of the car, got her out of the car. I was getting ready to close the door, and she said, "Don't close the door yet, Papa. My friends haven't got out of the car yet." So I had to wait, got them out, made sure they were out. Then I hold their hands as we walked in. But my granddaughter was upset because I didn't buy tickets for them. I said, "Well, don't worry about it. They'll sit on my lap." Then the balloon man came along. I said, "Oh, no. I'm not getting 4 balloons. 1, share." I love all this stuff because, sometimes we need someone to talk to, something to share. And sometimes if you can just take a photograph of yourself as a child, hold on to your stuffed animal, and look at that little boy, that little girl, and just realize how special and beautiful they are. And be able to be in touch with that. And realize the fact that now I understand fully. Even my grandson, I remember when he used to stay overnight when he was small. He would get in bed, arrange all of his guys around him. Almost like a safety precaution. He had to make sure everyone was the exact spot it was supposed to be so we could hold on to it and be close to it. Sometimes I think we forget sometimes when we become adults. We forget what it is to be able to go back, be able to feel that. Even the thing we're going through right now with the crisis and everything else, it's a good time to be able to hold on to a stuffed animal, hold on to your pets, hold on to the people that are close to you, and know that we can even be teddy bears to each other and give a lot to one another. I look at that and I realize in my life today, I've got plenty of beautiful teddy bears. And that's the most beautiful part about it. I kind of realize the fact that that's what's really all about. So try to look at the good things, the positive things, the things we're learning about one another. Feel the energy of what these little guys can do for you. What's so beautiful about them is they listen to you. They're there. They're safe. They're comfortable. They're part of our life. So we need each other. We need people. But above all, we have to also remember to get in touch with the fact that deep down inside of every one of us, there is a little child. That little child is so special and so beautiful. Honor that child. Celebrate that child. But above all, give that child your love. For that child is a big part of who we are as people. And don't be afraid to be a little bit of an adult child too. Have some fun. Laugh a little bit. Do what you have to do. But get through the journey sometimes around people you feel comfortable with and really keep things close to you. I've said it so many times that things like these stuffed animals, pets, things you're close to, they can be so therapeutic. It's unbelievable. Even a lot of nursing homes and places to that effect are now bringing pets in because they're a comfort to the people around them. And so just remember that. And remember to honor the things that bring you back into the simple little things of life, just to be a child again. So enjoy your stuffed animals, have fun. And little Vinny says hi. And now little Vinny's going to have to take a break here for a couple of minutes as we get into the next part. Okay? Thank you. I gave him to my wife to babysit for me. Okay. I want to talk now about my favorite buddy. He'll be my buddy forever, I hope. My good friend and my good buddy, Snoopy. But to talk about Snoopy, you got to talk about the whole entire comic strip. See, I really believe that the comic strip teaches us a lot about life. So many of us can kind of relate to different personalities in the comic strip. And especially, we can relate to the fact that we have all these little personality traits inside of us, ways in which we experience life and go through life. Let me share a few of them with you tonight, kind of give you an idea of what I'm trying to talk about, the things I'm trying to talk with. Let's begin with that wonderful, crazy, insane character called Lucy. Lucy reminds me very much of the addictive personality. She wants what she wants when she wants it, and she wants it now. Very demanding, tries to run everybody's life. There's a few control issues. And above all, she loves to drive Charlie Brown crazy. She's always opening up her psychiatric unit. She charges 5 cents, and good old Charlie is the one that always shows up and actually pays her. It's the amazing part about it. And basically just tells Charlie to control him and do the things she wants him to do. There's a Lucy inside of every one of us, part of us that wants to be in charge, that wants to run everything. But watch what Lucy does. She's always bugging that little guy called Schroeder, the piano player. Now, Schroeder could care less about her. In fact, she probably drives him crazy. He just goes away playing his piano, mind his own business. A lot of times that's us. Conflict and stuff can be going all around us. And so many of us are very good at denying it, stay in our little fantasy world, a little make-believe world, just kind of play the music. And what's happening outside of him is not really happening. And he's driving Lucy crazy in the meantime. But that's us a lot of times. So many times in life, we just don't want to deal with it. So the easy way not to deal with it is like Schroeder, make believe it's not there. And then, of course, we have that other little character called Linus. Linus was his world-famous security blanket. And Linus is amazing sometimes because Linus, has to hang on to that blanket. It's his security. It's his safety. He's afraid to let go. Now, let's talk about that word let go. So many of us are so afraid to let go, to take risks, to open ourselves up. We have a little Linus inside of us. And if we do take a risk, we'll take it over here, but not over here. We're always kind of doing things. I love it even in recovery sometimes. I want to do partial recovery, not total recovery. I don't mind giving this up, but I'm not going to give this up. All these bargaining things we do all the time because we're afraid to let go. We're afraid to become vulnerable. We're afraid to open up. So many times fear keeps us down. Control keeps us down. And so many we have to be able to loosen that up and open it up inside of ourselves. So we have Linus inside of all of us. We have the things we are afraid to let go of, things we've held on to, things from the past. We can see this in relationships sometimes. I can't do any kind of closure. So many things we don't have closure with. Even though we've separated from them, we still haven't closed them out. So in life, we need to do closure sometimes to close things out. Otherwise, they just stay inside of us. It's hard because it means we have to let go. That's a big part of the journey. Then, of course, there's the ultimate codependent, Charlie Brown. Good old Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown is always running around trying to get things done and never gets them done. He has a world-famous baseball team that usually loses about 70-0, and instead of catching a ball, it gets hit on the head with it. He's, oh, woe is me, poor Charlie. And everything goes wrong. Nothing's ever right. Charlie's always getting in trouble, and nobody pays attention to him. He loves a little redheaded girl, but she won't pay attention to him either. And so he's always sad, and he basically is so much like us as codependents, it's unbelievable. The famous cartoon, there should be an every recovery program, is when you have Lucy the addict holding the football for Charlie Brown, the codependent, to kick. When Charlie goes to kick it, she yanks it away and he falls on his rear end. He gets up, winds up, puts the ball down, boom, 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 boom. After about 9 times, they say to Charlie, Charlie, don't you get it? She's not going to hold that football. And Charlie says what many codependents say, someday she will. Someday, I call it the someday disease. Many of us, as codependents, have this disease. It's called the someday disease, which means that so many of us, so many times in the course of our journey, say that. Someday I'm going to make a meeting. Someday I'm going to work a program. Someday I'm going to do this. Someday I'll get this done. Someday I'll get that done. We have all these diseases as codependents. One is the someday disease. The other one is the splain disease. I'm going to explain everything when I don't have to explain anything. It's just amazing. And as a result, then so many times we never get to where we want to go because someday I'm going to deal with it. Someday I'm going to face it. Someday I'm going to do it. And that someday can turn into, scary. In fact, I joke a lot. I say, did you ever go to a codependent funeral? They usually have a nice big spread over the top of the casket that says, someday. See, someday is today. We have to be able to break through our some days. And Charlie has a hard time with that because Charlie thinks that this time it'll be different. How many times have we seen that in relationships? Something's negative, something's going on in life, but if I work on it, someday it'll be different. Someday he's going to change. Someday he's going to do this. Someday. We're scared to be able to face things and deal with things we have to deal with. And that leads me up to my favorite person, and that is, I call him a person, even though he's a dog, Snoopy, the Hound of Heaven. I love my man Snoopy, I really do. See, I really like that title for him, the Hound of Heaven. Snoopy is such a very special and beautiful individual. See, Snoopy has something called a free spirit. He has a great imagination. He loves being, the World War II pilot on top of the doghouse. He has his little buddy with him, Woodstock, all the time. And he contacts it because he understands this program. We have our teddy bears, we have our pets. He's got Woodstock. He has a little buddy who goes around with him all the time. And he really is powerful in recovery. And I'll give you some examples. They tell Snoopy one day, stay away from Lucy. She's having a bad day. She's having a crab in. Get away from her. But Snoopy walks right up to her door, knocks on it. She answers the door. Snoopy kisses her on the nose and beats it the hell out of there. It's called detach with love. It's amazing. See, Snoopy's not afraid of anything. He's constantly shaking people up. Look what he does to Linus all the time. He's always stealing Linus's security blanket. And poor Linus doesn't know what to do with it. And so as a result, Linus kind of goes out. What does recovery do to us? Takes away our excuses, takes away our games. We have to be able to look at things we don't want to look at. And the bottom line is, we have to be able to let go. There's a good example of what Snoopy does. He's kind of is forcing Linus to let go. So many times in life, we have a hard time letting go, especially letting go of things that are unhealthy for us. But inside of us, I know there's a Snoopy. There's that spirit inside of us, that energy inside of us. That means that we'll be in touch with our spirit. See, I think our spirit makes us who we are. It's our uniqueness, it's our specialness, it's our energy. It's how we interconnect with one another, how we love one another, how we're part of each other. I get excited about Snoopy, I can't help it. But the other part of it, which is so important, is Charlie Brown, typical codependent. He tries always to put Snoopy into obedience school. Charlie's always trying to control everything. Of course, Snoopy, when he gets out of obedience school, he don't pay attention anyway. He goes right back to his crazy spontaneity. You can't basically organize recovery. You can't organize life. You have to live life. Life has a lot of twists and turns, goes a lot of different directions, like Snoopy does. You never know where it's going to go next. You got to be open to it. You got to learn from it. You got to grow. You can't just stay stagnant in one little area all the time. That's why life does involve risks. It does involve taking chances. You have to be able to open up these doors in different directions. Everything in life is going to have its struggles and things to that effect. And Snoopy tries to teach us that deep down inside, each one of us is this unique, special person. Each one of us has this power, this gentleness inside of us. Each one of us is in touch with one another. And we need each other. And we learn from the energies of others. So we have a lot of Snoopies running around. Snoopy is the free spirit, the energy you have inside of yourself as a person. Your energy is what speaks to other people. I am such a firm believer in my life. You speak to people not by the words you say, but by the energy that's coming out from you. That's why I love pets. I love children. You know why? They don't hear a word that we say, but they can feel the energy inside of us. Pets and children know exactly where you are without you saying one word. You can say all the words you want to say, but they go deeper. They go to the energy inside of you. As we speak through our energy, we speak through our love, we speak through the way in which we conduct ourselves, the way in which we give to others. That energy is so special. And that's why I say every day, get in touch with your inner Snoopy. Your inner Snoopy is your inner child. Your inner Snoopy is the spirit you have inside of you. I believe it's God's spirit working inside of each and every one of us. It's very special. And so, please, enjoy your assignments, have fun, hang on to that little teddy bear, take a look at stuff that goes back to your childhood, especially take a look at that little boy or little girl, get to know her, give her some love, give him some love, and then basically stay in touch with that little Snoopy inside of you. Now, all the other parts are there too, and we're going to have the ups and downs. But if we keep Snoopy alive inside of us, we're able to handle a lot of things in this world. That's really what it's about. I hope this helps you understand the need for us just to be able to enjoy ourselves, enjoy life. Does it throw curves? Sure. But got to go with the flow, see where it takes you. Eventually, it'll take you where you're supposed to go. And so in this spirit, I want to take a minute now, just offer a prayer in closing, because I usually, traditionally, even at starting point, offer a prayer for the people on our wall at starting point, our recovery wall, but also try to remember deep down inside each and every one of us. So let us pray. God, we come before you tonight. We come before you in the spirit of that gentle little Snoopy. We ask you to bless us, guide us, help us to stay in touch with that beautiful spirit we have inside of ourselves. We thank you, God, for those who have gone before us, for their spirit and their energy is still with us. They are our angels, they are our guides, they are lead the way. For the lessons we learn from them, hopefully we can teach others and pass the lessons on. And know that deep down inside, you are working inside of each and every one of us every day of our life. Try to remember that God sends our teachers into our life. I call them our teddy bears. Sends very special people into our life to be able to help us as we grow and become better people as a result of it. So tonight we pray in a very special way for the spirit deep down inside, the spirit of love, the spirit of sharing, the spirit of service, the spirit of just knowing that you are there with us, you are guiding us. Teach us not to be afraid, even though these are scary times. Just not to be afraid, but to know that somehow, some way, with your help and with your strength, we're able to get in touch with that little inner Snoopy inside of us, our spirit. And that spirit is you working inside of each and every one of us. Thank you, God, for the gift of life. Thank you for the gifts of each day. And we ask this in your name. Amen. And now, just to close, you have to unmute yourself and join me in the serenity prayer.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. God's will, not mine, be done.